So we get in the limo, and Chucky Brown tells me, like, hey, Mike, if the NBA wants a team to win a game, they're going to bring in a specific crew. I was like, Chucky, get there. There's like, Chucky, ain't nothing they can do to stop this. Like, there's nothing they can do to stop it. Like, no matter, they can do whatever they want, nothing to stop it. He's like, watch. I said, ain't no way. So we get to the game the next day. He shows me the paper. You know, you get the notes at the beginning of the game. He's like, Mike. I said, damn.
Did Chucky say those names before y'all saw the names?
He said one specific name. I'm not going to say his name on here, but he said one specific name, and that name was on there. And start of the fourth quarter, I forget how much we're up by. I think we're up a good amount start of the fourth. And I do a brush screen off Scott Pollard for Scott Pollard to go set a away screen somewhere else. And it's a brush screen. So he kind of just, boom, and was going to the next. Moving screen. Start the fourth quarter. So I'm like, oh, shit. And it just went downhill from there.
Welcome to another episode of Straight Game Podcast. We are currently in Phoenix, Arizona at the Gila River Casino. This one is a little bit different. So we've had multiple guests on here, and we're consistently getting requests from the fans to get more info on Mike. So this one is all about Mike. So let's get it going. You were one of few who have actually won a national championship as a freshman. Talk about that.
It was kind of surreal to where, coming in, Arizona was pretty, I think they might have lost in the first round the year before. So, I was getting a lot of grief from a lot of people because I committed when I was a junior. And in high school.
You were player of the year, you could have went anywhere.
Yeah, it was between Arizona, UCLA, and Duke. Duke was a far third because it was so far away. I wanted to be kind of close to home. I only took one visit. I took one visit to Arizona. I took an unofficial to UCLA, and it was kind of, my dad went there. So when I went to the game, I'm walking through the crowd, and they start chanting. The whole gym starts chanting my name, and so I was kind of like, oh man. And then I met with Jim Herrick. It was pretty good there, but I committed after that and decided I wanted to play with Coach Olson. Coach Evans recruited me, but it was close to home. It was about an hour drive away. So I was close to home, but I wasn't home, so I was okay with that. And I took one unofficial visit to the campus, and as soon as I left there, I told my mom, I said, Mom, this is where I'm coming.
You didn't take any other visits to Duke or to UCLA?
No, it was, I made my, once, I'm the type of guy, my decision's made, my mind's made up. There's nothing that could really change that. And I just liked, what Coach Olson did and, his wife, Bobby, how they made me feel when I got there. And it was just like I was a mama's boy. Yeah. So she kind of took me in okay, I'll take care of him, Virginia, and this and that. So I felt good with going there. And we had an okay season, regular season. We went 500 in the Pac-10. But all the teams were good in the Pac-10. I think 5 or 6 teams made it that year from the Pac-10. And I remember waiting I hope we make the tournament, what I mean? And we end up getting a number 4 seed, which was surprising. But like I said, we were in a tough conference. So we go to the tournament. We played South Alabama and College of Charleston our first 2 games. Okay. And I think both games we were down at halftime. So I remember what really got me going after that game was Coach Olson brought me up in front of the team and was like, Mike, I need you to do what we recruited you for. And that was to go out and play the way I played. Yeah. And so when hearing that come from him in front of everybody was like, okay, it's time for me to open up. And that's when, after that we played Providence. We played Kansas. Kansas was 34-0. They had about 5 or 6 pros on that team. We ended up beating them, number 1 seed. We ended up playing North Carolina. We played North Carolina the first game of the season. and beat them the first game of the season as well. So
Who did hold on, let's pause. Who did Kansas have? They were 34-0. Obviously
Yeah.
they were the number one overall seed.
yeah, they're number
probably.
one team in the country.
So who did they have?
They had Jacques Vaughn. They had Jacques Vaughn, All-American point guard. They had Paul Pierce. They had Scott Pollard. They had Rafe LaFrance. They had Jeremy Haas. They had Thompson.
Kenny.
No, not Kenny Thompson. It's like Bill.
Oh,
He was like a shooting guard, about 6'5", maybe shooting guard.
had bounce.
Yeah, I think so. But I think he was known for a shooter.
Okay. Billy Thomas.
Yeah, Billy Thomas.
Billy Thomas. Yep.
And then
Yep.
I think they had one. They had another guy that played another guard. Was okay.
They had a squad though.
Yeah, they were good.
remember that team.
And then we ended up playing North Carolina in the Final Four, another number one seed, Vince Carter, Antoine Jameson, Shammond Williams, Ed Cota.
Squad.
I mean, down the line, there's more people I'm probably missing.
Yeah.
And we ended up playing Kentucky in championship, another number one seed, Ron Mercer, Derek Anderson, McGlure.
Oh, they had a squad. What's the point guard from Boston? Bald head brother. Oh man, solid point guard too.
They had Anthony Epps. I'm trying. It's like
They had a squad.
But we're the first team to beat three number ones. We're the only team to beat three number ones.
Wow.
Through the whole tournament, and no one. It was easier because no one really expected us to do it. You know, like all the teams that they expect to win usually don't win because there's so much pressure on these guys and it's just one game. So we kind of went through the tournament with nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And no one really expected us to do what we do, to do what we did. And it was just like me when I was playing. It was like felt like it was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because right after the game, I didn't go out to celebrate. I went to there's a Steak and Shake. You know, Steak and Shake downtown in Indianapolis. You know, right after the game, I went and got cheeseburger and fries, ate, and went right back to the room. And just like, it didn't really hit me till we went back to Tucson. And when we got back to Tucson, it was like they let everybody off work.
Yeah.
It was like a parade from the airport. We sat in the back of the cars, and they just drove us all the way through town and right to the football stadium. The football stadium was full. And it was just like, wow, we did it.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. Like I said, I think like just playing for a coach like that, like Coach Olsen, for you to sit there and tell you, hey, because you've seen a lot of coaches.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of situations with coaches from my kids to where they get you, but they don't really let you play, and it kind of closes you down. And when he said that to me, he opened me up, and it was just like, it's my time.
Yeah.
You know.
So was the starting five was you, Miles Simon,
Michael Dickerson,
Bennett
Davison. He was the number one player in junior college at the time, and A.J. Bramlett.
and you were the only true freshman on the starting five?
Yeah.
And for Lute Olson to bring you up in front of everybody, in front of everybody saying that this is your show, I can only imagine the type of confidence.
It did. I mean, because at first I was like, you know, I didn't want to step on any toes. Like you said, we had Miles Simon, Jason Terry, Dickerson, Bennett Davis. We had guys all the way through that were really good players, and I was just like trying to fit in and do that stuff. And we almost lost the first two games, like really close. And so when he said that, that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do what I do.
Yeah. You know, what's interesting is you talked about how Lute and his wife made you feel. Mm-hmm. You know, you talked about how like you felt warm from the community and everything about that. But that's what recruiting is. Uh-huh. And nowadays, the recruiting is all about money. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not about building that strong friendship, that strong mentorship or relationship. What are your thoughts about recruiting right now? Real quick, we ain't gonna dive into the weeds, but you got recruited. They didn't give you money. Mm-hmm. They talked to you in a way where you believed in the entire program.
Uh-huh. So what do you want? What do you?
So regarding that style of recruiting, or now with money, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it could still kind of go the same way. You know, I think if I get in a position to recruit, I'm going to recruit, and and like you said, it's to make the kids feel comfortable. It's to make the kids feel like you care about them. It's to make the kids feel like you could help them get to that next level that they're looking to get
Yeah.
to. And the thing is, like, there's 400 kids in the NBA. Not everybody's gonna make the NBA,
Right.
and you have to be realistic with some of these people and not tell them what everybody wants to hear. Everybody likes to tell people what they want to hear, and I'm the type of guy like, not everybody's gonna make the NBA. There's still places overseas that you could play, that you could take care of your family. You know, $40,000 a month still.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of money. It's not NBA money, but it's still enough money to live and do something that you like doing. There's millions and millions of people that wake up every day that go to work that don't like going to their job. And you know what I mean, being able to play basketball for your career and your life, I mean, it's a great feeling to do what you want to do every day.
You know, in this day and age, money drives everything, and I could be wrong, but that's how it's portrayed in the in the media. Freshman year, winning the national championship, I know you feeling the pressure to leave. You know, and you've talked about how you struggled in certain points growing up. You know, your mom doing everything for you and your brothers. You have a chance to go to the NBA, make a bunch of money, and ... after your freshman year, but you chose to go back. Why?
I wasn't ready. I just knew it wasn't my time yet. And I mean, there was some people coming after me telling me to go, you'll be a first round. And I didn't want to just be a first round. You know, I wanted to go in the good amount of pick, the high pick. And I just knew I wasn't ready as far as mentally. I wasn't ready physically. I wasn't ready. And I knew that, I wasn't the greatest at school, but I always tell my mom, like, Mom, I came here to play basketball. I didn't come here to be a doctor. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my basketball stuff.
Right.
And so I just knew I wasn't ready. It didn't even cross my mind to leave.
But the maturity to say, I'm not ready as an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid, and you have the NBA, your dream, your dad playing the league. You got, you're a Michael Jordan fan, to have a chance to make it, and at 18 you say, I'm not ready. What advice or who gave you that opportunity to be mature in saying that, you know what, I would just wait?
It was my mindset. Like, I knew I wasn't ready. I didn't want to just go to the NBA and disappear. You know what I mean? I knew I wasn't ready, and I just told no one talked to me, no one anything. I didn't go to Coach Olsen and us have a talk about it. I just was coming back next year.
Wow.
That was it. And so,
wow.
And the thing was, let's go win another one. You know what I mean? It's not as easy as you think. You just put it in place. Not as easy as we did. And so we came back the next year. Like, we had an Australian trip. I was telling the story because the Australian trip was supposed to set us up for the next year. It's like no one expected us to win the first year. So we went to Australia. So we were there for like 25 days or 21 days, some crazy shit. And I remember no one wanted to be there. Like, no one wanted to go because we're like, man, we already did it. We're supposed to play for pros over there, get us ready for this year. And I remember we all got in a meeting. It was all the players. And we're like, let's tell Coach O that we don't want to be here. They just have us go home. And we sat there. We told Coach O, we said the meeting up. So Miles is the captain. Miles went to him like, hey, Coach O, we don't want to be here. We want to try to go home. And Coach O was like, we're staying. Ooh. Everybody was like, damn. So we ended up staying for like 20. I mean, we had fun. It was different for all of us. Like, we went to Ayers Rock and we landed at Ayers Rock. So Ayers Rock is in the middle of Australia.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing but nothing.
Yeah.
And so I remember I ate McDonald's for like 25 days in a row. And it was like the worst ever. So we land on Ayers Rock. So we land in dirt, first of all. It's like we land in an open dirt field. And so I get off and I'm like, is there a McDonald's around? And they're like, yeah, it's about 450 miles that way. I was like, dang. So I didn't eat. We were only there for 24 hours, but I didn't eat for 24 hours. I was in the room, like, I'm just not going to leave. I'm going to try to sleep it off and stuff like that. But it was a good experience for us. But we kind of bonded good together. But we went into next season expecting to win it again, expect to run it back. And it didn't turn out that way. We had a good season, though. And we ended up, Utah ended up kicking our ass by like 20-something.
In what round?
Elite Eight.
Elite Eight.
Yeah, so, so Majerus I think Majerus was a coach at the time. Somebody he called an NBA coach. He was like, "Hey, how did we stop these guys?" And he said, "Run the triangle and two." They ran triangle 200. So they had a
you
guy.
and Miles?
Yeah, so they ran on me and Miles, and it's like everywhere we went, there was 3 people on us, and it was like hard. I was 3 for 15. I forgot I had like 8 points or something.
Oh, wow.
But it was hard, and the coach said that like if those other guys would have hit some shots early, we would have got out of it. So that we started off slow, and they just stayed in all game. There was nothing we could do, and after that game, I mean, I ended up getting Pac-10 Player of the Year. I was first team All-American, and now I knew it was time for me to go. And I just like there was nothing else for me to do. We won a championship, and it was time for me.
But you were 19?
I was 18.
18.
I turned 19 in May, so it was like at the end of the season.
Wow. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
If you think about it. So 19 years old, Michael Jr. is born. You had all this crazy success in high school. To circle back.
So Michael was born going into my sophomore year. So my wife was pregnant like at the end of my freshman year. So he was born Christmas Eve, my sophomore year. So in college we have tournaments then. It's like that's during the basketball season. So it was like we had to find a day for him to be born. So it was like, okay, I got these 2 days open. Let's have him 24th. I drive down to Phoenix and have him watching me born, almost pass out watching me born, and then have him born. I stay the night. Next morning, I go back to school. So it was quick, but they kept, they traveled down a lot during the weekend and stuff, and he was down there a lot. So
shout out to Darcy, man. She's been by you for a long time.
Yes.
Shout out to Darcy. So you're 19. Michael is there, and the basketball is happening, and now you going to the league.
So I mean, it was kind of like, my mom was kind of upset because my mom, how parents think, oh, it's gonna ruin your career. You're not ready for this yet. So.
Oh, being the father?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I think that made me focus more, and like now I have to. Now I have to make it.
Yeah.
And I have a strong mindset. I've always had a strong mindset. My mind is strong, and if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And my mind was like, I'm going to the NBA, so I have to. I worked so hard. If we couldn't get it inside the gym, I'd go outside at elementary school and get some shots up, no net, rim, and just get 50 makes in, just so I could do something. So I made sure that I was gonna make it.
NBA draft time. Did you know you was gonna go top 3?
It was supposed to be one, so I worked out for one team. I worked out for the Clippers. That's it.
And they had the number 1 pick.
Yes, and David was like, "You're not working out for any other team. That's it. You're just gonna work out for the Clippers." And David Falk's a super agent, so I mean, I'm listening to what he's saying. So I mean, I leave LA. They give me a bag this big of Clippers gear. I mean, I had a good workout too. I shot the ball good. I was worked out by myself. There was nobody else there, so a lot of shooting and stuff like that, running and shooting. Great workout. Give me a bag of stuff. So I'm like, they're picking me. And so we get to the draft. Before the draft, David still tells me, like, the Clippers, they don't know who they're going to pick yet. It's going to probably be up until the draft moment.
So what names are floating around? Is your name?
And Michael Oliver Candy.
No one else. It was just y'all two as a potential number 1.
Yes.
All right.
And so we go into the draft. It's still like they don't know yet. I mean, up until today, this is like the only year the draft's in Vancouver. So the draft's in Vancouver. Vancouver has the number 2 pick. And I'm there. I'm sitting at the table. And David, the draft didn't start yet. He's like, they're going to go with Oliver Candy. Grizzlies are going to pick you. So I'm like, dang. I'm a Phoenix guy. There's nothing against the city. It's nothing against the team. But it's raining there every day. And I'm an Arizona kid. So I'm like, I'm 19. And I'm like, hey, I got a family. I don't want to move to another country. And it was just long like that. And I remember going up. And like the draft was there, so before I get picked, they take me up to go see Stu Jackson and Brian Hill. Brian Hill was the coach. Stu Jackson was the general manager. And I remember me and my mom and my agent are up there, and I'm looking out the window. It's dark, it's raining, and I'm just like, and I told them, I said, I don't want to play here. I mean, it's nothing against you guys. I'm young. I'm in a different country. I don't want to play here. Nothing against you guys. Nothing against the team.
You told this to Stu Jackson and Brian Hill.
Yes.
Okay.
And they were like, "We're picking you anyway." I was like, "Dang!" I mean, I felt blessed to get drafted, but I was like, you know, I had a one of my wisdom tooth was poking like crazy, so I was kind of like frustrated with that. Frustrated that I had to go to Vancouver. And, you know, people could sense, like, oh, shit, maybe he doesn't want to be here. In a sense, but I was like, nah, my tooth's messed up and stuff like that. But, like, everything happens for a reason. Clippers were bad organization.
Yep.
And I'm kind of glad. And, I mean, there's a lot of pressure for a number one pick, too. Kind of made it easier being a number 2 pick, but I just think that everything. I mean, I don't think I would have got traded to Sacramento if I was with the Clippers.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I think everything happens for a reason, and I was happy that I ended up in Vancouver. I got to learn. I mean, it just help you see different stuff and grow up a little bit. So
I love this. I love how powerful our minds are. We can visualize something and it comes to fruition. So I'm a big one thought guy, whether it's negative or positive. We all have that one thought. Take us through what you were thinking your first game as an NBA rookie in Vancouver.
Shit. I'm out here. So what had we played? I remember we played the Trailblazers. This was the first preseason game we had. And Damon Stoudemire was on team, but everybody else was about 6'8", 6'9". Scottie Pippen, Dale Davis, Rasheed Wallace, Sabonis. And they're trapping the shit out of me everywhere. And I mean, I don't know how many turnovers I had or whatever, but I was like, damn, I hope it ain't like this shit every night. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it if it's like this every night. But I was kind of thrown in the fire. We had Lee Mayberry, so they kind of wanted to bring me along slower. And then Lee Mayberry ended up breaking his foot in training camp. And I was the only other point guard that they had, so they kind of had to throw me in the fire. And I would have did my best to try to start anyway, but it happened. Everything happened for a reason. I ended up starting. But after the first year, I mean, basketball was different back then than it is now. So a lot of the stuff was you played inside out. So we had Country Reeves and we had Sharif Abdul-Rahim, and so I was the third option. So the only shot I was getting shots just throwing to the post, and if they get double teamed, then maybe I'll get a shot or whatever and play like that. But it happens like after the first season, I was like, it was like we were losing. It was bad. It was ugly. So like we played, it was a bad season. We played 50 games because it was a lockout, and so we started out 4-4.
Okay, that's good so far.
And we ended up 8-42.
Damn.
We had
4-4 and finished 8-42.
So we had like 3 or 4 double-digit losing streaks after that. So we would win one game, lose 9. Win one game, lose 13.
Wow.
Win one game. So it went all the way like that through the season. And it was just tough. It got to the point where I was under 10 points. I was averaging like 9 points. I'm like, I'm not going to be here long with this kind of style. And Brian Hill was like an all slow down. We ended up getting another coach the next. So I had 3 coaches there in 3 years. And Sidney Lowe was my second coach there. And kind of like the same thing. I averaged about maybe 13 points, 14 points maybe. But it was still kind of the same thing. So Lionel Hollins came in my third year and kind of like opened it up. Like Mike Dickerson was there. He got traded there for Steve Francis. The year Steve Francis would come, they traded Mike Dickerson. So me and Mike Dickerson weren't really that close in college. When we came to the Grizzlies, we became real close friends. And Lionel Hollins kind of like told Country, because Country was been the man there since he came. And I remember him telling like Country, like, where are my shots at? And he's like, see those 3 guys right there? Those 3 guys will be shooting the ball. So if you want a shot, you got to go get their rebound. And so that kind of put like, okay, now it's our team to kind of do what we got to do.
That was almost like a Luke Olson moment, but in the pros.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Luke brought you in front, right?
Yeah, it was just they kind of like opened things up for me and just like, okay, I end up the 3 years I was there, I averaged like I was in the top 10 assists for 3 years while I was there.
In the league?
In the league.
Okay.
So it was kind of a different thing. Like I was like 14-8, 8.5, 9 assists. So going there, and I would just remember like it was such a struggle as far as the way we traveled. So we got to go through customs every time we leave and come back.
Yeah.
And it's like we land at 2 o'clock in the morning. We got to sit on the plane, wait for customs. We go to the regular airport to leave. So we got to go to the regular airport, put our stuff, go to the regular customs, get on our own plane. So it was tough, and I was just like, man. And then I remember Michael Heisley, the owner of the Grizzlies, coming to the team, or coming to me. And, rest in peace, Michael Heisley, great man, and not a lot of owners do this. And he was like, hey, Mike, we're going to be moving the team next year. We don't know where we're going yet, but, we're kind of going to start over, and I wanted to see where you would like to be traded. And I was like, he's like, well, just give me your 5 teams that you want to go to, and, I'll try to see if I can make it work. So I gave him like Phoenix, I gave him Dallas, I gave him Sacramento, and like 2 other teams. And I just told him, and he's like, well, where's the number 1 spot you would like to land? And I told him, I said, Sacramento. And like I didn't hear anything about it again.
Oh, why? I mean, you talked about Phoenix coming home, talked about Dallas, pretty big market, but why Sacramento?
Sacramento, so I remember like in the NBA, like I remember people like even if today, like, oh, they're playing Kevin Durant and Booker, they're playing LeBron James, I want to go to that game. And no one was ever like that with us when the Grizzlies come to town. Right. You see a lot of empty seats. No one really come to watch us play.
Right.
And I remember it was the last game of the season, and we would play Sacramento. And we weren't playing for nothing. They were already in the playoffs. And I remember coming there and coming out for the game, and I'm like, wow, it's full.
For
like
the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Right.
In Sacramento, I'm like, wow, I want to play for a team like this. I love the way their style of play was, though. But I was like, I want to play for fans like this.
Yeah.
And I was in the gym. It was probably like midnight, 1 in the morning, and my brother gets a call from a person he knows in Sacramento, and he's
Which
like,
brother?
Dane.
Dane gets a call.
Dane.
Okay, all right.
Dane gets a call to his phone. Is like, your brother got traded to Sacramento. So he was like, you got traded to Sacramento? I was like, ain't no way, David. I would have talked to David.
Dane called you before David Falk.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So I was like, yeah. So I left my phone. My phone's in the car, and so I go out to the car, and he kept talking like it's on the news. And I was like, so I go to my car, and when you get traded, you get a call from the team you're on, and you get a call from the team that's.
Yeah.
So I go there. I got a call from the team on Grizzlies 604 number and a 916 number, and I was like. I just went crazy. I was screaming. I was jumping.
That's what's up.
And it was just a great feeling. Like, okay, now I got to go.
Yeah.
So, and David had told me, like, when you get there, they're a good team already. Just fit in. You don't have to do nothing crazy, and just fit in. We end up winning 61 games that year. I won more in that year than I won in 3 years in Vancouver. So. It rejumped my career.
Yeah. So we talked about on the court, and we're gonna talk more about Sac for sure. But let's talk about Darcy Michael Jr. going from Vancouver to Sacramento. A lot of fans don't understand when a coach gets fired or a player gets traded. Well, their whole life moved to a different city. Everything changes. So, how was that with the young son and the wife?
It wasn't bad, and I had my oldest daughter while I was in Vancouver too.
Okay.
But she wasn't born in Vancouver; she was born in Phoenix.
Okay.
So we had to kind of travel back. She had to travel back and have her in Phoenix, and then so it was us 4 at that time. I moved. My brothers came. Some of my friends came. Got jobs out there. It wasn't as bad move because we had moved back and forth after each season anyway.
Okay.
So I was
All right.
traded after the season.
Yeah.
And it was just, you know what, I went up there, found places where we could stay and stuff like that. So it was just, come on, we got to move our stuff to here now instead of going across. So it wasn't as bad as after getting traded in from Sacramento to Atlanta, because that's mid-season. Now, I got to find somebody to help them move while I'm gone.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was a little different there. But, I mean, it wasn't as bad moving to Sac.
All right, so I met you in Sac, I want to say 6 years ago, seven years ago. They love you. Mm-hmm. You currently do TV for the Kings. Talk about your experiences in Sacramento. We must talk about the infamous game that people allegedly, or did he actually?
No.
One of them, allegedly
I wouldn't say allegedly.
Okay, but that particular game resonates through every Sacramento Kings fan because you guys should have won the championship that year. So your experience with Coach Pete Carroll, like C. Webb, getting traded for Jason Williams, talk about all that good stuff.
I mean, it was a great feeling. Like, coming in, I was nervous of how, Jason Williams is a fan favorite, team favorite. I didn't know how the fans would accept me.
Yeah.
I didn't know how the team would accept me. And that was my biggest worries. And, I worried about it for a long time. And what made it so easy and comfortable for me and how I played so good is the way that the fans accepted me and the way that the team accepted me. They made me feel like I got drafted by a team, that's the only team I ever played for.
Yeah.
And it was just so easy to make that transition to Sacramento and play for that. But it was a different type of basketball game I was playing now.
Yeah.
So I remember first practice, Coach Carrill, I throw it to Webb or Vlade, one of the two guys, and I just cut. I do my regular cut through, go stand in the corner, and as I'm running through, the ball almost hits me in the head. So I'm like, and so Coach Carrill was like, young fella, you keep your head on, ball's gonna hit you on your head, it'll hit you in the face. And he walked off, and I was like, okay, there's a different game here.
Pass it, yeah.
Yeah, so it was different how to get used to that, playing real basketball again. And it was just, it was the best, like I said, gratefully that the Clippers didn't draft me, because I don't think I would have been able to go to Sacramento. Sacramento changed my life, it changed my career. And, just the fans to this day, it was 20 years ago, and the fans still...
A lot of love.
Yes, and they showed me a lot of love, and Sacramento was my second home.
Yeah.
I was there for 6.5 years, 7 years. One of my kids is born there, Mia was born there, and, my kids kind of grew up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Michael, from 6 to probably 12 or 13, he was there, and on down. But, it was just like I said, a second home. I feel I could go there and feel like I'm going back home,
Yeah. So I think you guys revolutionized basketball with C. Webb being the passing big, being the stretch big. So was Vlade. The game was up and down. You got B-Jack coming off the bench, 6 man a year dub playing the defense. You guys were rocking and rolling with the cowbells. It was crazy. Talk about that game. And you know the game I'm talking about. Talk about that game.
It was an ass whipping in the making. Throughout the whole city, they won the first game in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So we're like, damn, so we got to go get one out there. So
they being the Lakers for you young people out there, but go ahead.
Lakers, they got two of the top 5 players of all time. They got Shaq, they got Kobe in their prime. So game 6, I'm going to tell you a story about Chucky Brown. Chucky Brown, so I could use his name. I'm Chucky Brown, old school guy. So Chucky Brown is in his 14th season.
Okay.
I'm in my 4th, so I'm new to the game or whatever. I'm in LA talking cash shit to everybody. With them Loose put you in situations to succeed. I think they're probably the best owners, best family that I've seen in the basketball world.
Shout out to the Maloofs.
Yes, and then they have you on red carpets. They have you at movie premieres. They have you doing, they have you doing everything, appearances and stuff like that. So I'm at movie premieres talking shit. I'm on the red carpet talking to Anthony Anderson, talking to actors and stuff like, oh no, we got to change. You could look. Everybody knew that it wasn't going to happen. So we get in the limo, and Chucky Brown tells me, like, hey, Mike, if the NBA wants a team to win a game, they're going to bring in a specific crew. I was like, Chucky, get that. That's like, Chucky, ain't nothing they can do to stop this. Like, there's nothing they can do to stop it. Like, no matter, they can do whatever they want, nothing to stop it. He's like, watch. I said, ain't no way. So we get to the game the next day. He shows me the paper. You know, you get the notes at the beginning of the game. He's like, Mike. I said, damn.
Did Chucky say those names before y'all saw the names?
He said one specific name. I'm not going to say his name on here, but he said one specific name, and that name was on there. And start of the fourth quarter, I forget how much we're up by. I think we're up a good amount start of the fourth. And I do a brush screen off Scott Pollard for Scott Pollard to go set an away screen somewhere else. And it's a brush screen. So he kind of just, boom, and was going to the next. Moving screen. Start the fourth quarter. So I'm like, oh, shit. And it just went downhill from there. Webb's getting foul trouble. They call foul. I mean, it's on film. Like, there's conspiracies about all of it and all this stuff. It is on tape. And you can see all the calls that are like, you even see me go down, like they call foul. I went down to one knee in the middle of the play. I was just like, oh my gosh, no way. Yeah, but I mean, it was just like they were getting our champagne ready in the locker room to celebrate winning the Western Conference, and we kind of shit the bed. Like I still, Robert Horry Shaw, I still can't. Like I'll watch the highlights and stuff up until that.
You can't watch it.
I can't watch it. I haven't watched it.
You haven't seen it since. Damn, you got PTSD.
No, I won't watch it. I just won't watch it. Just like, because I know it was taken from us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was our championship, and we went to Game 7. It just shows you that we are a better team. Like even like if you watch some of those highlights, you could see like Shaq's face, Kobe's face, rest in peace. Like they're like, it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could see it in their face, just staring at the ground, but Game 7, we go to Game 7, kind of shit the bed in Game 7, 2 for 13 from 3, under 50% from the free throw line, and we go to overtime.
Yeah.
We end up losing in overtime, and they interview me after the game. Me and Kobe are getting interviewed after the game. I don't think I've seen them ever interview a losing player.
Yeah.
And they're interviewing me and Kobe. The guy, he starts asking me questions first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm pissed, and I'm just like, I don't even remember what he asked me. I was like, damn, it's over.
Yeah. So let's pivot from the league, and we'll finish your career for sure. But Kobe, a lot of people don't know you guys finished the same high school year. McDonald's All-Americans. It was Kobe. It was you at the point guard, Kobe at the 2. I know Tim Thomas was the 4, and Jermaine O'Neal was the 5, but who's the 3?
No, I was on the other team. So we got
the parade All-American.
Oh, it was me, Ronnie Fields.
Ronnie Fields, that's it.
Me, Jermaine O'Neal, Tim Thomas, Kobe, and Ronnie Fields.
Yeah.
And it was just like he was like the second coming of Jordan. Like everything he did, the way he chewed his gum, the way he talked, just his mindset was like, you didn't see that at that young of an age. You know, I'm a kid. I'm trying to, I still want to go hang out. I still want to do all this stuff too. His mindset was different. And that's what
in high school.
Yes, and that's what made him, I think, the player that he was.
Yeah.
And it just started from like that. But he was MJ-like even back then. Just like everything he did, like his aura, everything. Like just being with all those guys was crazy. Like, I mean, and they beat the shit out of us. I mean, their team, it was ridiculous how they set the teams up for McDonald's game.
Talk about the McDonald's game.
I couldn't believe it. They had like 7 pros. They started Kobe, Shaheen Holloway, Tim Thomas, Jermaine O'Neal, Steve Jackson. So all of them, and I think I made it to the NBA, my team made it to the NBA, and I think Corey Benjamin made it to the NBA. That's all we had
on your
our team.
Yeah.
And I mean, they would start the game off with the dunk. They beat the shit out of us.
And wasn't Stack the MVP?
No, Shaheen Holloway was.
Shaheen was, but Stack should have been.
Yeah, so I mean, Stack pumping himself. You know what I mean? But Stack played good. Stack was out there killing too. Yeah. So, I mean, he was supposed to come to Arizona too. Ended up not passing the test. I got a story about. I call him Steve. I know him before he was Steve.
All right.
So, I call him Jesse. He calls me Henry. We call each other. You know, we must have middle names. So he couldn't pass the test. So I remember he had one time. So I'm trying to get him a pep talk. Like, come on, bro. We need you to pass this test. We're gonna have a great season in Arizona, and just be ready for it. He's like, all right, I'm gonna get ready for it. Get ready for it. And I said, I'll call you out. I'll call you later in the day after the test, because test is in the morning. And so I call him, like, how'd it go? He's like, I said, what's that mean? He was like, I didn't even go. I said, oh, man. That was the last time he could take it, too. You know, you get like 3 or 4 times to take it. And that's the last time he could take it. So he ended up getting drafted by the Suns in the second round.
Okay, so we can't overlook. Stack didn't take the test, so he couldn't go to Arizona.
Yeah.
He moved in with you and your mom?
Yeah, so he came out, he was in Phoenix, so like he was still coming to Tucson with me, working out and stuff, and he ended up living at my house while I was at school.
Okay.
And my mom ended up taking him to play pickup at the Suns Arena, and they ended up drafting him. And
he got drafted from your mom taking him to pick up games.
He could play.
Yeah, I know. He from Port Arthur, so I saw him in high school. He was a monster. But the story, the journey, is totally different, man. People think when they see Stack that they see this polished product. But he's from Port Arthur, Texas, which is not the best. But his journey made him who
Yeah,
he
it was.
is.
And he ended up playing, I think, like 15 years. And the crazy part is how bad we were in Vancouver. I got him 2 tryouts there, and they cut him every time.
Do you think it was because of basketball?
No. It was because he was out there killing. And the first year,
You talking noise?
Yeah, he was talking. That might be why, because he was talking a lot of shit too.
Right.
He was killing our best player, like on both sides of the court, talking shit. Just being Steve. And the first year he got cut, I was like, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know the political part of the game. And the second year he came in, and we were shooting and doing workouts, extra stuff, and he was killing.
Yeah.
And I told him, there's no way they could cut you this time.
Right.
There's no way. And so they called him in for the last meeting, and he came back. He's like, they cut me. I said, bullshit. They cut me. I said, oh, my God. I just knew what type of thing it was, because they kept guys.
Yeah.
They ended up only playing 1 year and things. So he ended up, his journey was different as far as taking it, playing in Puerto Rico, Venezuela. He had to play overseas a lot. And so, it's like you said, everybody's journey is different, but it's like, it can't be that obvious, man, you know?
Stack made a quote by saying, I make love to pressure. And that was his famous quote. But look at all the pressure moments he has been through. So to make a jump shot to win a game, that's small in the grand scheme of things, right?
Yeah.
So you talked about you locking in being a dad. You had an opportunity to coach Michael in high school. How dope was that?
It was good. I remember going in, and his freshman year, I remember going to practice. I like to let him go to the next level, let the people take care. Now you groom him, you do what you gotta do. I'll have him at home. So I remember going to practice when he was a freshman, and 2 kids over here on their phone, 2 kids doing other stuff on there. So I went to athletic director and was like, this will probably be Michael's last year here. I don't like what's going on in there. He's not gonna get better. He's not learning anything. I need him to get better. And so he was like, we don't know if we're gonna keep the coach anyway. Would you want to coach? Because I had coached him since he was 9 years old.
Yeah.
So I coached the kids things. So I was like, yeah, I'll coach him. See, and just had him there, and I was tough on him too, and he knew it, and he finally realized, instead of taking it hard and hanging his head, okay, Dad. And so then I leave him alone. So he kind of learned quick when I get on him. But I was hard on him just to make him better. It was never because he was soft or none of that. I'm not saying that he was soft, nothing like that. But it's just I was on him because I knew what I expected out of him. And I knew how good he could be and how good he was. And I wanted to be more aggressive. And he was just like, you never see a high school kid, you tell a high school kid, shoot the damn ball. Dad, he was open. The other kid would be like, okay, coach, I got you. I'm going to shoot every time I touch it. That was just his mindset. he wants to make everybody happy on the court. He wants to.
Yeah.
He was like a coach out there. He's like me out there, and he knows that the team's gonna be good with all 5 people, not with just other people. So
us hanging out and me being around your family, I don't think it's highlighted enough the type of father you are, how much you love your family and friends, the loyalty you have regarding your inner circle. Talk about, I want to highlight that every time I call you, every other week you're in a different city, a different state, supporting Nyla with her volleyball, the things you've done for all of your kids. But I want to highlight that about you, Mike Bibby, the father, the husband. And so hats off to you first and foremost. I think this next part of your journey is going to be awesome. But talk about your family, man. Like, they've been the backbone, your friends, your support system from day one.
So with me, it was, everybody, me and my dad had differences when, growing up, and I always tell people I never hated him. People think like you and your dad had beef or I never hated him. It was just that he wasn't there. So it wasn't like I grew up, I forget what age, it was when I was young, maybe 8, 9, 10. Like, he was working, he'd be coaching in out the country, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, stuff like that. And it just got to the point where he was never around. Like, I'd see him one time a year, boom, then it'll be, next time I'd see him in a year, next time 2 years I'd see him. Yeah. And I just got to the point where I just grew up without him. And the way I felt he wasn't in my life for so long. I don't care if he's in my life, because that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I always told myself, like, I'll never let that happen with my kids. So I'm going to do it at my best to always be around, always be at their events, always, like I tell you, volleyball is a killer, but, I'm not going to miss it. I have you there for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
I would never miss anything. I just love to see, because you never get these chances again. Like I tell them, I try to bring joy in the house, good energy, positive energy. I'm in the house singing. I'm in the house talking. And, Dad, you don't shut up. You need to put him up. I'm like, there's going to be a time one day when you won't be able to hear my voice and wishing you could.
Yeah.
So, just try to keep them playful and joyful like that. And it was just that they'll never have another dad, And so I just try to make the household loving, and I've always been a caring person. Like you said, I'm very loyal, and I just love that they're there. They're all grown and stuff now, and I wouldn't care if none of them left the house. That's just the way that I am. You know what I mean? And 2 of my older daughters kind of are on their way, and I'm kind of like empty house, but it's just like it's full as it was.
So your loyalty with your family, friends, it makes it simple or easy to understand why the relationship between you and Sacramento.
Yeah.
We can talk about ball all day. We have a ton of different things from to Miami. Mike the coach, Mike the friend, Mike the father. That's what I believe the people should really understand more. And this opportunity gives them a chance to do that. So before we leave, is there anything else you want to shout out, you want to talk about?
I'm not good with that, Ty. I'm good. I think that was good, man. I was just bigger things and stuff coming for us. Even for us and for other things that we're trying to do. It's just, I think it's our time. It's my time. It's getting better.
Yep. No doubt about it, man. From the bottom of my heart, bro, from day one, when we met at that event, bro, until now, we've grown a close friendship.
And it's because we're the same. It's like we're the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like just the loyalty you have and just the way you are and the way you care about people. It's the same thing. The same way I am, and I think that's why we hit it off so good, man.
Let me give a big shout out to E, man. So E has welcomed me, man, since I met him last year. So we got to give him a big shout out.
Come up here, E, so they can see you up here. Pull your pants up, man. It ain't 1993 no more. Pull your pants up and get on this camera. Come on. There you go.
Let's go, baby. real. You already know, baby. It's 100, baby. For real.
All right, now get out of here. Now get out of here.
All right.
Get out.
So, on behalf of Straight Game Pod, we thank y'all again for tuning in. Subscribe, hit that like button from the bottom of our heart, man. Thank y'all.
Straight game.